What about you?
Me?
Oh. Me?
How would you improve?
How would I improve?
One trait for your dream man.
I think the only thing that I really need to improve is the way that I make money. So I'm working on other efforts and methods to make money.
So
yeah, she wants to get out of OnlyFans.
Essentially.
I'm assuming.
Oh.
Essentially.
okay. So you bring money to your dream man.
Not that I would bring money to my dream man. I just know that I shouldn't be pursuing a relationship while I'm in this field because I've had multiple failed relationships already. And also the type of man that I'm going to be attracted to would not be okay with me doing OnlyFans, so.
Understandable.
But you think you might have shot yourself in the foot already, though?
Yeah, and actually you're going through the questions right now. One of my questions is on there. It's in blue, so.
Okay. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
I have a question.
Honest, though.
Yeah.
You want to say something? Go ahead.
You
super real. My bad. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you, like, since OnlyFans, everything's on the internet, right? And everything can come back to you. Don't you think that, like, when you have your man that you are attracted to and everything, that he might go back and see all of that stuff?
Yeah, that's definitely a real concern for me. And so I'm kind of stuck in a standstill where I already have a child and I have multiple failed relationships and I did make the choice to go into this field. So I sometimes wonder if marriage is in the cards for me at all. I would hope that it is, and I would hope after a few years of not doing it anymore that that stuff would go away because it's behind a paywall. But I'm not 100%. I don't know what the future holds.
Okay. Okay.
That shit don't ever go away.
Well, at least she's blunt.
I would say she's all right.
Yeah, at least she's blunt.
She ain't even giving no bullshit answers.
Pretty matter of fact. I mean,
but her honesty and her integrity, I would say at this point, I think is admirable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and your question is here. What do you recommend to women who have already chosen to be in the sex industry? Should they continue because it's too late, or is there hope for that woman to find a lifelong partner in the future if they choose a new path? I'll turn it to the guest first, and I can give my take on it. Tommy, what are your thoughts, and then we'll go to Brandon.
I don't think people would let it bother them like that as far as like what they've gone through now, because I think every guy knows that he's walking into somebody else's shoes at this point.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that what it is how you carry yourself, because if you look at it, Kanye West had no problem marrying Kim Kardashian, and they knew what she did. It's to how you carry yourself at a certain point in time. Cleaning it up is probably going to be a problem when you go into PTA and shit like that.
Right.
But as far as finding a man, we know we already step into somebody's shoes anyway, so that's just how I look at it.
Okay. Brandon?
I'm a big individuality respecter. Like, for example, I would never address you or you or you the way I address this one. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's different. I don't know shit about you until I learn you. That being said, when you dating, you only got to get it right once. And your mindset is going to make you successful in dating because you accept reality. Do you know how many women are delusional? Do you know how many women on TikTok have built their following off being fake delusional?
Absolutely.
And bitches in the comments are like, yes, that's me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you live in reality is really, so if there's a PTA meeting and the shit goes around and yada, 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 they found you busting that shit open or whatever from 10 years ago, your kid might have to change schools. You live in reality, and that's cool. Right. You know what I'm saying? So if a guy finds out, and he could be with you for 3 years, but if that's not in his morality, he can't fucking do it. You're like, this hurts, but I understand.
Right.
I think she probably tell him up front, though.
I think
prepare him.
But you never know, though. Like, you never know, because we got guys, you got egos, you know. We cool as shit until motherfuckers start roasting your ass. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the problem is I'm a huge believer in the law of attraction. So it's like, being that I'm in this field, I've become, and I'm also a single mother, I've become very, very masculine in the way that I carry myself. So it's like, I'm not going to continue dating when I'm attracting these feminine men. Like, I'm attracting men with no cars, shit jobs.
You live
like,
in reality,
you know what I'm
girl.
saying?
Like,
You single mom?
Yeah. I am a single mother.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all seen it better than me. I didn't even see that coming. Nice.
All right. Let's let her finish her point.
I think I did finish my point. I
Oh, that was
just,
it? Okay.
But thank you for showing and being honest with the
What's your take on
audience.
this, Fresh?
Honestly speaking,
Gotcha.
we have a culture in this manosphere to say that we want virgins. And I understand, because having a virgin is awesome, so to speak, because it's not touched at all by any man. But reality speaking, are we getting virgins nowadays? No. It is what it is, bro. Got OnlyFans, prostitution, girls getting dicked down by hella dudes. As a result, what do you find out there? It's in your face. Now, for your honesty, I mean, like, that's admirable for sure. And it's like, at this point, if the man understands where you're coming from and is cool with it, honestly, what's wrong with that? However,
Think about this.
Are most men going to be like that? Probably not.
No, and a lot of the men that I have chosen to date in the past will tell me that they're okay with it, and then they
At the beginning.
yeah, right, and then they
they try
build
to get some
emotions
free
for me, an
pussy.
emotional connection, and now it's you have to delete this,
Oh,
you
my
have
soul.
to change your entire lifestyle.
Now, could you imagine you meet a guy that's cool with it, and then let's say Brandon, Tommy, me, and Myron say, "Yo, bro, this your chick?" Put up a video. He gonna be like, "Fuck," and that's
Yeah.
gonna hurt his soul.
Absolutely,
So, as a result, that's what you gotta deal with at this point.
right.
It's the reality.
But she lives in reality, so she's good. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? That's why
I
I'm
was
saying
about to say,
she's gonna
she
be
doesn't-
alright. Cause at the end of the day, it don't matter how many times you get it wrong. You only got to get it right once.
Right. I would like
That's
to be
dating.
out of the game by the time I'm 25.
I mean,
How old are you now?
22.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought you were say 24.
But if you don't
I know, I gotta
exactly
look.
know-
I got
a year. I got a year.
You know what I'm saying? You be alright.
All right, so you mentioned that, like, and I wrote down some notes here as you were talking and the other guys were talking to you, because I'm really trying to give you the best answer I really can here.
Yeah.
Right.
That's well measured and not to kind of give you the raw. You mentioned earlier that you dated a bunch of guys that tend to have feminine tendencies, right?
Yes,
Don't
like-
have their money together,
No
their
cars.
pussies, let you take leadership roles, etc. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So what I found with hyper dominant masculine men that women find the most attractive is they typically also correlated with a behavior tendency of being very territorial.
Right.
Right? So the more masculine a guy is, the more dominant he is, the more assertive he is, and the more successful he becomes, typically him being territorial with his woman goes up alongside it.
Right.
Right? So the men that you're looking for, right, that you want, that these feminized men aren't necessarily being, would disqualify you off rip in most situations, which is the
Right.
problem. Am I saying you can't find this guy? Is it possible? Of course it's always possible, but I think one of the biggest things that girls don't get is that possible and probable are two different things. So the probability of you finding a guy that's hyper masculine, has his shit together, is attractive, has money, is charming, charismatic, and funny, with a nice smile, and loves dogs, and wants to have a family, and all this other shit, taking a girl like you seriously in a relationship is extremely slim.
Right.
Because he can find another girl that looks like you, that has your traits, that doesn't do that work and doesn't have a child.
Right.
And that's how men that are very successful tend to think. They think objectively in that regard, where I have a bunch of girls that want me, why would I go for this when I can get something else? So I think women that get into certain lines of work, whether it's OnlyFans, pornography, even showing a lot of skin on Instagram or being a model or whatever, where you're like using your sexuality to make yourself money, it comes with
A price.
long-term consequences that you might not foresee when you get into the field. And then some girls say, well, I'm going to do it for a bit, make my money and get out. But the problem is that
It
it's
never
always going to
happens.
follow you, and the man is always going to have a problem with it to some degree. That's why you had this issue before where they're like, oh, well, it's okay, it's not a problem. And then they switch up later on.
Right.
So, yeah, I think the chances of you this is my basic thing. You're not going to find your dream man. That's the bottom line.
So I should settle.
You need to get comfortable with settling with a guy that, let's say, he's not the most attractive, but he takes care of you and he's a good man.
Or he's a little feminine.
That might be what you have to settle for. Or you get with a guy that's hyper attractive, takes care of you, but he doesn't have the most money, and you guys got to go 50-50. Basically, what I'm saying is that you're not going to get a complete package. You're going to have to concede on something.
Right.
So what I would say is, maybe if you don't care about height as much, look at guys that are below 6 feet.
That was my last ex, and he was also, we were just talking about like cucks and stuff. He was into that type of shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it started to get really bad. I had to break up with him.
Yeah,
Into
yeah.
what?
He was very, very insecure in himself.
Well, with that said, okay,
Yes.
let me give you some tips,
Where
though.
did you meet him?
There's some things that should be
meet this
Right.
nigga.
Long Island Black. No, he's white. He was white.
Oh, there it is.
You know what I'm saying?
She's keeping it real.
Alright, bet. Long as
She's keeping it real.
Long as he wasn't black.
I'm gonna give you a list of things that I don't think you should. That should be non-negotiables.
Right.
Right. I don't think you should try to do a 50-50 relationship. The guy should pay the predominant amount of bills. He should be the decision maker. He should be the head of the household. And he should like go to the gym and have some kind of masculine semblance about him. Other than that, good looks, whatever it may be, you might not get that. But I think if he has those 4 things in line, that's gonna put him in a position to be a good father, at least.
Absolutely.
Bare minimum. And I think that's the most important thing. So, yeah, you just won't get your dream guy, unfortunately.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
What about
And
you?
thanks for being such a goddamn good sport about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like
You
her.
a
I would say she's one of the most humble and like understanding.
Yeah.
So